Hello, I want to welcome you to my kitchen. Today I have a few things I'd like to share with you. I was talking to my sister on the phone today, and she had lots of questions, and I thought maybe other people have questions as well. Maybe I can help answer. I love to grow herbs in my garden, and so I have here in my kitchen, this is some lavender. Over here I have some lemon verbena. I also have some chocolate mint. I'm going to start with a flower though. This is a Japanese lilac. And I'm making some oils here, fragrant oils, not so much essential oils, which are distilled, but these are just for fragrances, which I can then use in my little diffuser over here. Always use distilled or processed water of some sort. But with these lilac blooms, I have put them in a crock. You want to use crockery or glass, no steel or metal, okay? Because that just kind of ruins the fragrance for whatever reason. And you want to use a good olive oil. Don't use corn oil, vegetable oils. They have sulfites in them, which can damage the flavor and the aroma. So here, this won't be anything to eat, so the flavor doesn't matter, but the aroma certainly does. These will sit for 2 to 3 days in this crock. I then squeeze them out, like this I've done today earlier. I squeeze the blooms out in order to get all the oil out and back into the crock. Then I went out and I plucked more of the fresh blooms and added to this. You want to keep the blooms so that they're covered in the oil. Let that sit for 2 or 3 more days. We're going to repeat the same process about 6 to 8 times, and then we'll have a really good, nice, fragrant oil. Here I'm doing the same process, and I'm using lavender instead. This lavender here has been processed once already. Here's some of that down in this bowl that I had squeezed out earlier today. This here has been covered with oil, needs a little bit more oil. It's not quite as covered as it needs to be. So I'm going to get some more oil in this bowl and cover that up good with olive oil, and that'll make a nice fragrant oil that I can also put in my bath. I love lavender in my bath. I love to diffuse it as well. You can also use a mortar and pestle if you'd like. When you're squeezing out your oils, put them inside the pestle here and just really give them a good squeeze. And then you can strain that with some cheesecloth or a tea strainer and put your oils back in. You always want to reuse the same oils so that you're continually fragranting that oil. Something that helps that oil to stay fragrant and fresh is called orris root. Orris root is also from the iris. It's an iris bulb. So you'll take that iris bulb, cut it up, you'll let this dry out. It could take quite a while, several months to completely dry out, or you can just get some orris root powder at a gardening store. And you'll use a teaspoon or so in that to keep it fresh. You'll also want to store them in glass bottles. You can use clear glass bottles because they're just for fragrances. If they're essential oils, you want to use a amber type bottle. But these bottles are just for the fragrant oils that I put in there. So the orris root is a very important part to preserve your fragrances. And also, if you're using it for edible things. This is chocolate mint. Chocolate mint is good for putting in coffee. It's great for putting in cakes, for flavoring cakes more, and you can just eat it right off the vine here as well. It's not really a vine, it's more of a little shrubbery that it grows on, low to the ground, and it's a perennial. It'll come back year after year after year, as with the lemon verbena, the lavender, and of course the lilac bush. Perennials will come back year after year. Annuals are something you have to plant every year. So then you take your chocolate mint or whatever kind of mint you have that you're growing outside. I have several different mints I grow. And you add vodka to this. The vodka is what pulls the oils out of the leaves. Oil pulls oil. So the oil here, the olive oil I use, will pull the oils from those petals and from the lavender and make your scents. But with this, I want it to be edible. So I don't want to make this oily stuff and then eat that so much. So now some oils you can eat, but I prefer on these not to. So I let these steep in vodka. The vodka will lose its alcohol content, and as it draws out the flavorful oils from these leaves that I can then put a little orris root in. that we have here and preserve them in bottles to use later on, just like you would use vanilla flavoring or any other kind of flavoring. Here I have the lemon verbena. I'll do the very same process with the lemon. I'll pluck the lemon and I'll cover it with the vodka, let it sit for 2 days, squeeze the oils out of the leaves as much as possible, put more fresh lemon verbena into the bowl again, as I will do with the chocolate herbs. You do this several times, 6, 8, 9 times, until it has the flavor or the scent that you're wanting to acquire. Now with the lemon verbena, you can use this for several things. You can use this as medicinal purposes for like cough and cold season by making a steeped tea with the fresh leaf. And then adding some good honey. I like to use a good raw honey. So locally is always the best because then you're getting what is in your air already that you're breathing. So your allergens are probably less to be hampering for you. But you can use this for teas, lemon teas, cough syrups. I use it also for lemon flavoring. It makes a wonderful lemon flavoring for pies, cookies, cakes. Take a plain vanilla cake and add a couple teaspoons of this lemon flavoring once you've steeped it, like I said before, in your vodka. That pulls all the oils and the flavors out, so it's wonderful. There will be some alcohol content in there left because there just always will be some, but it'll be so minimal that nothing is going to harm you in any way. These are just nuts that I'm enjoying as I'm working in my kitchen. I also like to, now as for the vodka, let me go back to that for 1 second. I don't know what brand you'd want to use because I'm not up on that at all. I just chose this bottle because I like the bottle. And I'm going to recycle this bottle. I'm the queen of recycle. So I'll use it for something else someday. But it's a pretty blue bottle. It has a nice shape. Hence the reason I bought that one. Here I have a red bell pepper. And I saved the seeds. These are going to dry out for a few more days. They've been up for about 4 days so far. So a few more days to go and these will be all dried out. And then what I'll do is I'll put them in an envelope, such as I did this one here for the butternut squash. And then I seal it up good on the side so they don't spill out in my drawer. I do that because of what's happened in the past, drawers full of seeds. But these seeds I'll use next year. I'll start them off in my greenhouse, probably in February, so that by April I have nice sturdy plants that I can plant in the garden. So save the seeds from your butternut squashes or any kind of squash that you eat, whether it's zucchini, tomatoes. I even have some plums growing out in my greenhouse right now, some plum trees and different things like that. Another good product that you want to use that you usually have in your house every day is coffee grounds. Put this on your garden, put it on your plants. These are used grounds, so you can recycle them instead of, certainly don't want to put them down your drain. There's nothing worse than putting coffee grounds down your kitchen sink, okay guys? That's like putting a wad of dog hair down there, so don't do that. Save them and reuse them and put them in your garden on your flowers. Same with eggs, egg shells. I save my egg shells and let them dry out here in this bucket. You wash them out first because you want to make sure there's no salmonella that's forming on them. And wash them out and just let them dry for a few days. And then after you have yourself a bucket full of them, go ahead and crumble them up. Spread them in your garden around your tomatoes, around your plants. It helps to keep the bugs down and just, it's a good, healthy thing for your garden. So there you have it from Joy's Kitchen. Any questions? Go ahead and ask. Thanks. Have a great day.